Hi there, welcome to this week market analysis. So first up, let's take a look at the dollar index. Now the dollar index price has actually hit our target zone this morning, or say late yesterday, at the 127 extension at 104.85, and currently we are seeing this as a potential completed five-way structure from the low 1 2 3 4 5, and therefore we are expecting a little bit more of a deeper pullback, at least in three waves, coming back to the territory of wave 4 somewhere around 102.95. Okay, so for now, the suggestion over here is to just be neutral, be a little bit patient and see how the market's going to react off that zone first. Okay, so if you can get an impulsive first drop, then any form of corrective move, we can actually look to trade the third move to the downside, and from a neutral bias, we will then shift it over to being bearish after that. Okay, so for now, we'll just be patient and see how the market's going to react off the top. So with dollar index potentially reversing soon in the short term, we're expecting the euro dollar over here to look for a bounce as well. Okay, so over here, euro dollar, we're looking at a bigger three-wave structure completed. 1 2 3, and of course internally here is a 1 2 3. Now we did not really tag the 100% yet, but we came pretty close to that zone around 1.07. So of course, if you're any sell trade on euro dollar, my take here is you may just want to take profits out of it. Okay, and just be patient and wait for the next trade setup. So over here, we may see a deeper retracement back up, especially after a bigger move like that. Most of the time, the retracement will come back to it somewhere around 50% of the entire leg. Okay, so we'll again be patient. If you can get a first impulsive move to the upside, then any corrective will be a short-term buy trade opportunity moving forward. Now, next one here is the pound dollar. Okay, pound dollar here, we are still expecting a little bit more downside. From this recent high here, we're looking at a three-wave move. Now, we still have a bit of room which the market can still drop. Okay, you can see over here, potential target around 1.2495. We do have a little bit. Okay, of course, if you are more of a short-term intraday trader, any corrective pullback can still be seen as a short opportunity. But as a swing trade, this is something that may not be very attractive, and therefore you may want to just be patient and wait for another setup going forward. Right, so GBP USD, short term still have a little bit of room. Of course, depending on your style, depending on the time frame you're focusing on, this trade may or may not be worthwhile to you. Okay. Now, Aussie dollar is moving very nicely after it has completed this structure over here. 1 2 3 WXY wave 4. A very nice little small double top, a nice little rejection impulsively to downside. So we are continuing to hold our bias to being bearish. Okay, and of course the final target here is somewhere back at the 127 extension, somewhere around 6320, right? Again, if you have any sell, do manage it. Okay, we have a sell up at the top of the row here, 6500. We're shift stops to break even, and today we shift it a little bit lower to do some profit protection. Okay, our target remains at around 6325, 6320. Okay, and that would then give us a very nice little completed set of a 1 2 3 4 5, and then we'll expect a deeper pullback after which. Okay, so Aussie dollar short term a little bit more to the downside, and then after that you want to be careful. You may see a deeper pullback. Now, dollar Canadian is something that is not the clearest of all right now. Okay, we have seen quite a bit of an extended move to the upside, potentially completing a five-way structure as well. But we don't get a very clear move right now. Okay, so I would suggest just being neutral because the recent move here is a V. Now, if we want to trade the pullback, always wait for the first impulsive drop to kind of confirm that, okay, maybe the trend is shifting, and then wait for a corrective pullback to confirm that, okay, this is a pattern that suggests more downside. Then only you take this trade to the downside. Okay. Now before that, we'll just be patient, we'll just be neutral and see how the market is developing. If this continue to crawl something like that and we can't get a divergence built in, then maybe we can be a bit more aggressive in looking for a sell. But again, that takes time. You just want to be patient and see how the market evolves from here. Then we have GBP USD. Okay, GBP USD is going up nicely as anticipated. I think there's still more upside potential. We're coming close to that 127 extension, but there's a possibility this will further extend and retest the top of the channel as well. Okay, so if I can extend that, that is the huge gap, right, between the 127 and the channel. So 127 is a very conservative target. This can actually extend all the way to the top. So my take here is if we can get any corrective pullback on dollar yen, okay, the buy trade may still be worthwhile to be considering, because you can take partial profits here, being conservative, and you can let some trade run and see if you can go for extended at the top of the channel, right? So that profit potential is still there. So dollar yen, okay, do keep a close watch. If you can get any corrective pullback, naturally that will be a buy trade. Then we have gold. Okay, gold is also performing quite nicely as expected. Okay, we're kind of anticipating that pullback. Sorry, and after a completed three-wave move, that's something that we always expect. Now, of course, what we get is a very nice little impulsive drop over here. So you don't want to be selling immediately, but if you can get a corrective, nice three-wave little pullback, then we'll look to trade the third move to the downside, at least for the short term, and then maybe, from there, this may start to bounce back higher. So gold here, I think maybe the setup may come to us by the end of the week. Okay, maybe end of Thursday or even end of Friday. If we can get a nice little corrective three-wave push to the upside, then that would be a sell. Target here is around 1918 to 1910. Alright, so to keep an eye on gold, I think something is setting up soon. If not end of this week, then it will be early trade next week. Crude oil here made a very strong impulsive break above that recent high. Okay, and therefore any corrective pullback would be a no-brainer to look for buy trade. Okay, but of course you want to wait for a clear corrective three-wave first, right? So this one direction is clear. Just give it some time to prove that indeed the move to the downside is gonna be a correction. Then we can look for more upside. S&P, okay, quite similar to gold, just that gold dropped impulsively, but S&P hasn't really done that. Okay, however, the direction here for short term is still a decent pullback towards this zone, right? So do look out for sell opportunity, okay, in terms of S&P, at least for the short term, with a target down towards 4440 to 4415. Okay, next one here is pound AUD. Okay, so pound Australia here is something that you may want to keep a close watch. We have an internal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then of course we have a pretty sharp pullback. Okay, not the most ideal pullback, but of course you can also consider on the hourly a little bit of a double top. Okay, so maybe you can look at the neckline here as a potential counter trend trade on the H1. And of course, going back to the 4-hour time frame, okay, this is the structure that we're looking at. Do pay attention to if this drop is not impulsive, if this drop is going to be corrective in nature. You want to be careful, because this means that this can actually push one more time to the upside, then only maybe the drop after it completes a bigger three-way structure. Okay, so any sell here, you definitely want to pay a little bit more attention. Look at how the market is developing. If it's impulsive, great, protect your trade. Okay, if it's corrective in nature, look to exit first, because there is a possibility of this going up first before the bigger move back down. Okay, so that's on the pound Australia side of things. And lastly, on BTC, there's really nothing much. The market is just not moving right now after a sharp swing up, a sharp swing down. The market just remains quiet. So Bitcoin, just stay patient, just stay neutral, and wait for the next clear setup. So that's all for me for today. All the best to you guys as well, and we'll see you guys in the next one.